Hi, everybody. Welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada. And you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. It's Tuesday night, and every Tuesday night at 6:30 Pacific, I jump on and do a sketch challenge. I'm kind of excited about the sketch challenge tonight. I don't know. I really love this bundle I'm playing with. It's called Beautiful Balloons, and it's one of the new bundles from the upcoming catalog. And so if you've watched me before, you know I've played with it, and I can't get enough. The designer series paper is absolutely amazing, and it's in some of the new colors. So tonight I am using Berry Burst and Bubble Bath for my card. So let's see, what can I tell you? So if you miss any of the measurements as I'm going through, the layout will actually post in about half an hour on Facebook and on Instagram. So you can jump out and get the sketch there if you miss anything. Hello. All right, so I'm going to switch over and then we'll start. So here's my sketch. I've used a heart for whatever shape you want. So 5.5 by 8.5 or 4.25 by 11 for your card base. And then this first layer is 4 inches by 5.25. That's kind of standard. Oh, my dog's barking like crazy. Now you've got 2 layers across the middle. One is 1.25 by 4, which is the matte, and then the next layer is 1 inch by 4 inch. So you could make those wider if you wanted to. Then this blue layer, it's kind of hard to see, but there is a blue matte around the green, is 2 inches by 3.5. And then the green layer is 1.75 by 3.25. And then I've got a circle that's about 2 by 2. So a 2-inch circle. And then a shape, that is about 1.5 by 1.5. You can make it whatever shape you want. I'm going to use a balloon. And then a sentiment layer. And if you wanted to move that down, you absolutely could. Okay. So like I said, I am using the Beautiful Balloons. I used this the other day. I just love these balloons. They're so detailed. So I'm going to actually use one of the big balloons. It's probably bigger than what I said, 1.5 by 1.5, but that's, I think, what I'm going to use. All right, let's get started. So I have got a piece of, I need a trimmer. Where's my trimmer? It's over here. I packed everything up to go to a fundraiser on Friday, and things are still a little bit of a mess. So I've got a piece of thick basic white cardstock that is 4.25 by 11. So I'm going to score it at 5.5. When I use basic white for a card base, I like to use the thick basic white. It just makes it easier. The cards will stand up nicer. So if you're watching, don't forget to say hello. Tell me where you're from. All right, so there's my card base. Now, my first layer is this most amazing Berry Burst. Love Berry Burst. So I am going to emboss this using, this is one of the embossing folders from the 3D embossing folder. That there are 3 of them. They're part of the online exclusives. I think they're available now, but if they aren't, they're coming back fairly soon. This is the one that's kind of cross-hatched. So I'm just going to take and emboss this. Just want a little bit of subtle background to it, and that's what you get when you use this, if you can see that. So that's going to be our first layer. And I like to use liquid glue. I mostly use liquid glue, but I definitely like to use it on top of embossed cardstock because it gets into the nooks and crannies. There we go. Okay. Now I got another piece of, this is just plain basic white that was 1.25 by 4. And then I cut a piece of the, if I can get it, this is a piece of the designer series paper. And I just love this one that's got the diagonal stripes. The back side is kind of a whitewash or a color wash, but you can't actually tell from this because I happened to pick a piece or cut a piece that is kind of that solid berry burst. So that's going to go on like that. And then this we're just going to adhere flat to the middle of the card. It's not very straight on there. Let's see, there we go. Okay. Okay, so I'm just putting that across the middle. Hey, Melanie, welcome. There's two people who said hello. I can't see who it is because you need to give Facebook permission, and either you have done it and it's expired, or you haven't done it and you need to do it. So I can see somebody commenting from Facebook, but I can't actually see. All right, so here's my two next pieces. So this is 2 inches by 3.5, and then I've got another piece of the designer series paper. This is actually cut from the same one. Hey Tim and hey Dawn. This is cut from the same piece as this. It's kind of a watercolor effect. There's the rest of that really pretty paper. I love this balloon. The balloon, it's called Bright and Beautiful is the suite. Okay, and then that will go on like that. And you could, I'm just going to adhere this flat, but you could actually adhere it with design or with the dimensionals if you wanted to. So that's going to kind of go just in the middle like that. Now I've got a circle that I cut out using I think it's the second largest of the Stylish Shapes dies. I'm going to emboss this as well, just kind of giving it a little bit of texture. I meant to do that before and didn't get it done. Okay. These are falling. Okay, here we go. So I just really love this texture on it. So we'll put that on there. Now I'm not going to adhere that quite yet because I'm going to maybe pop that up. And I've got my piece for the inside. Actually, I don't really need a piece for the inside of the card since it's white. So I've got a piece of basic white now. And I'm going to stamp. Let's see, this is really going to cover that up. So maybe we will just use the smaller. Maybe we'll do a couple of the smaller balloons instead of the large balloon. And I'm still going to use this big one because I really want to add some details to it. So I'm going to stamp 2 of these kind of the medium-sized balloons in Bubble Bath. I want to call it bubble gum, but it's Bubble Bath. And then I'm going to stamp I wonder if this is going to work better. I'm going to stamp the details. The nice thing about the big balloon is it's got one stamp that will stamp these kind of some details on it, but I think that works too with just using that little bit. All right, and there is a die to cut that out. So let's bring in Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine, and I think this piece of paper will, oh, it won't. All right, never fails. We'll cut this. There we go. Now it'll fit. All right. And I'm going to use just a little piece of Post-it note tape to hold that die in place on the cardstock. There we go. There's one balloon. And second balloon. All right, I think I've got those cut. That. So I think that'll be better. I can just kind of, oh yeah, isn't that pretty? Oh my gosh, it's so pretty, these colors. All right, now I grabbed some twine. So I've got some white baker's twine. What I thought I'd do, I'm going to put these on with dimensionals first, and then I'm going to use the twine and wrap it around the bottom of the balloons. So it's got strings hanging from them. There we go. And it's just easier. So I'm going to put this on with dimensionals. It's easier to do this, I think, once you've got kind of it's stable. And I'm not, there we go, put it like that. So I'm just going to take, let's see, am I going to be able to do this? Maybe. There we go. Tie a bow. I probably will have to use a glue dot to keep this twine from slipping off. Just feels like it's gonna kind of slip off. All right, we'll put just a glue dot, oopsie, on the bottom of that balloon like that. And one on the other one as well. Okay, there we go. And just kind of slip that underneath, if I can get it underneath. Easier said than done. I probably needed a glue dot underneath it, but maybe I can get it. All right, let's get this. There we go. Now I can do it. There we go. All right. I just want a little bow. There is a nice a stamped image of a string that works if you've got cardstock that you're stamping on. All right, and then we'll do this one. If I can get it tucked under, come on, there we go. Trying to do it so it doesn't slip off. Okay, perfect. And again, I just want a little bow. Like that. Like that. Trim these off. There we go. All right, so the last thing I need, well, second last thing, but for here, is a sentiment. Now I said 1/2 inch by 2 inches, and somewhere I have a piece that is 1/2 inch. Now, what am I going to be able to? So what I think I'm going to do is this one that says "So thrilled for you." I'll stamp it a couple of times in Berry Burst on this thin strip and then cut it. So let's try and like that, and then like that. So then I can cut those two words, those two out into two pieces like that, and like that. So originally on my sketch, it it was going to be on the balloons, but I think that covers up the balloons. So I'm going to put it just down below. My dimensionals is showing. Let's tuck that underneath, and then we'll do that. So thrilled for you. All right, so we've got that, and then these pastel adhesive sequins are amazing. They go, it's almost like were meant to go with this bubble bath. So we'll use those. They come in 2 sizes, a larger one stuck to my finger and a smaller one. So we'll just put 2 of the large and 1 of the small. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp a balloon on the inside, and hopefully not my finger. So I'm going to stamp it kind of here, and I'm going to grab this string, and we'll stamp it in Berry Burst. I make such a mess. Thanks. Oof, that didn't. Let's make sure we just stamp. There we go. So there's that cute little string. And we'll put that on the inside of the card. And in fact, I didn't have to. I could have stamped this right on the inside of the card because it is basic white. But since I have it, I might as well use it. There we go. All right. Love the card. Love those colors together. The other one that goes really well with these colors is Fresh Freesia. So if you're looking to use Fresh Freesia as well, that it goes really well. All right, there we go. So it looks pretty close to my sketch. The only thing is I moved the sentiment down just because it was going to look funny across the balloons, I think. So, all right, so don't forget that the sketch goes live at about 7 o'clock. So in about 10 minutes or so, you'll be able to find it on my Facebook page group and on Instagram. Grab it from there if you wanted, if you missed any of the measurements. There were a lot of pieces to this sketch tonight, so you may have missed some of the measurements. And don't forget to share your cards on my Facebook group. Now, these products, the colors as well as the balloon, what's it called? Beautiful Balloons bundle is a whole suite actually called Bright and Beautiful. Go on sale as of May 2nd. So you'll be able to get them in my online store as of May 2nd. This embossing folder is part of the 3 embossing folders. I think it's available now. It was out of stock for a bit, but it is coming back if it isn't. So, all right, everybody, thanks so much for joining me. I will be live again tomorrow night at 5. So I've moved my technique/mystery challenge to Wednesday nights at 5. So I'll be live tomorrow night with a technique. So come and join me then. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me tonight. Hope you have a great evening. Happy stamping. Bye.